Inflation is a familiar term to anyone keeping an eye on the economy, referring to the general increase in prices over time. When the cost of goods and services rises, the value of money diminishes. For residents and investors in Miri, Sarawak, inflation brings both concern and opportunity. A common question arises: can property protect against inflation, and if so, how? Imagine the bustling streets of Miri. From the coastal city center to the quieter residential areas, property values tend to rise gradually year by year. When inflation kicks in, the cost of constructing new buildings increases, materials, labor, and land often become pricier. Existing properties, particularly well-maintained ones in desirable locations, become more valuable as replacement costs climb. For a property owner in Miri, inflation may actually work in their favor as their property appreciates alongside or outpaces inflation rates. Suppose you own an apartment in PSO or a shop lot in Permajaya. Each year, as inflation nudges prices higher, the rent you can charge generally follows suit. Rental agreements often include annual increments, allowing landlords to pass some of the inflation burden onto tenants. This steady rise in rental income can help property owners offset the shrinking purchasing power of money. Additionally, fixed-rate mortgages become less burdensome in real terms as borrowers pay back their loans with money that is worth less than it was at the time of borrowing. However, property is not just a passive investment. It requires maintenance and wise tenancy choices, especially in a market like Miri, where demand can fluctuate with shifts in the oil and gas industry or changes in population. Yet, the underlying land scarcity and economic activity in the city help underpin real estate values. As inflation persists, new development projects in Miri must grapple with inflated material costs and changing regulatory environments. For existing property owners, this can mean a competitive edge. Their properties stand as established options in markets where new builds become more expensive and sometimes less feasible for developers. At the same time, investors who diversify their portfolios with property gain a hedge against inflation, since real estate generally retains real value, unlike cash sitting in a low-interest savings account. Consider also the impact on home buyers. While some may be discouraged by rising prices, those who purchase property before inflation accelerates can secure assets that will appreciate. Over time, as their property grows in value, their overall wealth is protected from the corrosive effects of inflation, unlike those who keep their reserves solely in cash. Of course, there are risks. Economic downturns, oversupply, or falling demand can dampen property values temporarily. Yet, historically, and especially in places with steady growth like Miri, property has helped owners preserve and grow wealth in the face of inflation. For the average citizen in Miri, understanding property's role not only means financial security, but also the possibility of generational wealth. From family homes handed down through generations to strategic investments in rapidly developing neighborhoods, property stands as both a shield and a springboard, helping Sarawakians navigate the effects of inflation with greater resilience.